Podcast. And you are tuned to the KnoItAllz Podcast, and you got your favorite know-it-alls here with you, man. I'm telling you, it's myself, Big G, and Tate, man. Listen, it is a great afternoon for football, great weekend for football. If you see me in a different place, I had to go and do some ministry events, but guess what? We're still here. And football did happen. But look, if you like the content that you're receiving, make sure that you hit like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch so that when we go live, you'll definitely get that notification. And as well, we are live on Twitter right now, man. Twitter's going crazy anyway because there's so many things that we need to talk about, man. But listen, man, Big G, how you feeling today, man?
Man, it was a rough weekend, man, for me and my Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna save it for the podcast, man. But I got some stuff I'm gonna say, man. Get it off my chest. But the main thing is, man, it's still all about these boys right here. The Buckeye boys is handling their business. So I'm feeling it, man, for the Buckeyes.
Tate, how you doing today, man? How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. You know, wrong microphone. Oh, my bad. Subscribe.
Yeah, it's acting stupid, man. It's just
like and subscribe.
Just keep talking. We got you. We got you. Just keep talking.
Nah, I'm done talking, man. I don't got much to say, man. My team got smashed. That's the worst loss the Pittsburgh Steelers have had since 1989. I was a sophomore in high school the last time they got beat that bad. So.
Yeah, you know the score of that loss? Just FYI, you know the score of that loss?
38-3.
51-0. 51.
Oh, yeah, against the Browns. You're talking about, yeah. I thought you meant today. Yeah, for sure. Hey, so we got a special guest, Payday, that just showed up, man. What's up, Pay?
Definitely.
What's going on, man? What's up, people?
Hey, look.
Yeah.
Look, well, before we get into anything, man. Before we get into anything, man, make sure you run the credits and let's get it popping, man. Well, man, listen. So I just want to start this off first and foremost. This must not have been the week for sportsmanship at all. Like, we saw Deion, Alabama, what is it, Alabama State? Is it Alabama State where Coach Robinson coaches at?
Yeah, Eddie Robinson coach at Alabama State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we saw Deion go across the field to have a regular coach handshake, and it kind of went awry, man. Definitely, he said that before that he saw a lot of the Jackson State players, were kind of taking shots at Alabama State in the press during the week, and Deion had walked a long way around onto their side of the field, just saying that they were pretty much being disrespectful, and that's what he was like, yo, just shake my hand and move out the way. And Deion kind of felt, he felt kind of upset about that. I can get it. I see it. I feel it. And he said he wasn't swag. How you guys feel about that, man? G, talk to me how you feel about that.
Well, the biggest problem that I have about it is and I talked to one of my friends about this, we went back and forth just over the weekend. The bottom line is, it's all for one and one for all in the HBCUs, and it should be that way. These guys don't have television contracts. They're not on CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox. They're not on any of those networks, man. So for you to draw negative attention towards the HBCUs, it's just all out negative. Nobody wins by drawing negative attention. Now, football is football, and they play the game on the field. But the issue is that when you're an Eddie Robinson and you just go and push the dude away and all whatever else, yeah, they was talking, but that's something that you guys can talk about when there ain't no cameras on you. But at the end of the game, for you to push that away, that causes all kind of negative attention and negative aspects on HBCU football, which without Deion Sanders, I'm here to tell you was a dead man walking. But now it's got full life in it. So, that's just my take. I think, yeah, it's football. Yeah, they talk mess. But Jackson State is that thing, and it is what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pay, how'd you feel about that? How'd you feel seeing that?
I definitely didn't like it. It's not a good look. I agree with Sean on that. However, I kind of think that's been bubbling coming from other people in that conference for a while. The thought going into Deion taking that job at JSU was just a step over job. You know what I mean? So he was going to build his coach resume up and then eventually be at FSU. That was some talk for a while, and maybe Coach Robinson, maybe he believes the same thing, that he ain't swag. And all his bravado and everything is just look at me, Louis type stuff. And it bubbled to the top, and he felt that way. I don't agree with how he handled it. I definitely don't agree with players disrespecting coaches at any point, especially opposing coaches. You keep it civil.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Tate, how you feeling about that?
Man, I feel like it's a whole lot about nothing, man. It's just some Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher on the SWAC level. It ain't nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I mean it was one of those things that was definitely unexpected for sure. And then in the news, of course, we had the big punch heard right around the world. The sucker punch, definitely that Draymond Green gave his teammate. Listen, we haven't had a chance to talk about this in full, and I'm gonna kind of say this as I know that I'm gonna have to get off the podcast early tonight. But I'm just gonna tell you guys, it was a sucker punch. I don't know that you rebound from that as a teammate. You know what I'm saying? Not that. I know Steve Kerr and I know there's talks of other people who got into a fight in practice and they rebounded, but this is a different thing and it's a different time. I just don't think Jordan Poole gets over this. Not at all. I don't feel that the continuity is going to be there. I feel like Golden State will either trade or get rid of Draymond. Talk to me about this, Pay. I need to hear your thoughts on this.
Same thing. You got to keep it civil, even if you don't like the person or if they deserve to get punched in the mouth. You got to keep it civil, especially it being your teammate. Speaking of somebody who's ever been punched in the face before, I'm not getting over that. But
you said you've never been punched in the face before?
Speaking of someone who has been punched.
Oh, has been punched in the face. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting over it. I know Poole ain't gonna get over it. They can shake hands and we gonna do the best thing for the team or whatever. Say all the right things, and they may be able to have a good work relationship going forward. He ain't gonna get over it. There's at some point, like, hey, you gotta run me that fade back, B.
But you can't ever get it back though, Pay. That's national TV. That man, mama seen that. That man, Draymond tried to say, his parents and his family. But yeah, those are real things, and they not gonna forgive you for that. You know what I'm saying?
And they shouldn't.
So how is he gonna be? You gotta think about it. If they don't forgive you for that, how is he gonna forgive? Jordan ain't forgiving you for that. You know what I'm saying? And just like Isaiah Thomas said, IT said, we done shoved, and even Steven Jackson said it. We done shoved, pushed, talked all kind of cash, but I never hit my teammate. Talk to me about this. How you feel about this Draymond Green punch?
Man, I completely am against Draymond. I think Draymond is wrong. I mean, I frankly, I think he a sucker, man. He stole his teammate. he was looking for trouble, man. He walked up on him and said, I mean, what Jordan Poole gonna do? You walk up all and get cheek to cheek with me. I'm gonna push you up off me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, if Draymond put up his hands then, like, well, let's square up. You know, but no, he straight sucker punched him. That's why Draymond, to me, in my eyes, is sucking. And Jordan Kidd is a little kid to him. I mean, Jordan Poole is 30. I mean, Draymond is 32, 33 years old. Jordan Poole is 23 years old. You know, I mean, that should be the little homie to him. He shouldn't be trying to pick on him and start a fight with him. But I don't know that I agree with your take on Draymond getting traded and Jordan Poole not getting over it. Jordan Poole, I read, finished practice that day, and Jordan Poole got the perfect coach for a situation like this. You know why he got the perfect coach for a situation like this?
They got something in common.
Yeah, they got something in common.
Right. Because Steve Kerr got punched in the face by Michael Jordan. We just didn't see it because social media wasn't around back then. And them boys went on to win some championships. So I don't know.
But that was Michael Jordan, though, Tate. No, it was not Draymond Green.
There shouldn't be any exceptions. It definitely should be worse.
But
that was Michael Jordan.
But what I'm saying is that's the star of that team. You know what I'm saying? That's the star of that team.
Draymond Green is the heart and soul of Golden State. If you get rid of, he's the leader of that team. He might not be the best player, but he's the leader of that team. You get rid of Draymond, stuff gonna be totally different.
And let me ask you a question. How is it that Draymond gets away with all of this stuff? He cussed referees out. He talked bad to everybody. I mean, these antics and all this sucking and jiving needs to be out of basketball, bro. I can't stand it. I mean,
you know why he gets away with it?
Everybody.
Because everybody in the league except Jordan Poole knew he had hands. That's how he got away with it for so long.
Yeah. Hey, but this is the issue too, man.
No, but this just it. I really don't think Draymond got hands. I think Draymond pick and choose the people he picks with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We got one example of him throwing hands, and it was a one-hitter quitter. I mean, what we got to go with what we got.
That boy was almost asleep. He was almost asleep. Hey, but on the real, it's sort of Michigan State thing too, man, between them. You know, and if you're not from this area, around this area, you don't understand that the Michigan State, even on the pros, even making money and all, it's a lot of bad blood between them two. But the issue is, like y'all said, and I agree, Draymond should have never done it. But Draymond been punking cats. Draymond don't care who you are. Draymond was gonna lay hands on he was gonna lay hands on Kevin Durant. He was gonna lay hands on KD.
Kevin Durant.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. He don't care. He doesn't care about who it is. He laid hands.
Oh, I bet he cares. I bet he wouldn't do that to the King. I bet he wouldn't run up on LBJ like that.
I bet when Doug West was there in them early championship years, he wouldn't have tried Doug West.
He wouldn't have tried Doug West at all.
David West, yeah.
I mean, David West, he wouldn't have tried him at all.
But what if Draymond does get traded, which I do believe he's probably going to get traded? Who trades for him? I believe it wholeheartedly.
A veteran team that's looking to win.
Yeah, because they already done told him he got to step away from the team. He got 3-4, and that was like a little quiet suspension. Yeah. They're like, bro, you take a little time off, you step away, you get away. And that could be all the way till the season kicks off on the 19th.
That's PR, Big G. That's PR, Big G. If that didn't get out, the video didn't get out, they wouldn't have asked him to step away from the team. It looked so bad. They sitting up there in the Golden State front office saying, well, we got to make it look like we're doing something. If that tape didn't get out, he wouldn't have to step away from nothing.
Well, they had to do something, just to have Poole's back,
Yeah.
So because if they didn't do something, now Jordan Poole feels slighted. He feels like a smaller person in the locker room because no one
trade me, yeah. And he the young boy too. Trade me. I'm a young bull. So and at that point you unsettle the locker room. And I mean, again, last point on this, and before we move into the football and take the lead on that. The point is, man, what's going on with y'all's training staff and videographers that get out. Now I heard they got the bag for that, $2.6 million. But bro, like you got to wrap that up. The team ain't supposed to let that get out at all. Oh, you ain't supposed to let TMZ get their hand on that at all.
Hey man, if you see if you see the angle of the video that's shot, man, somebody that was up in the stands. I mean, it could be an employee, it could be somebody in there cleaning Oracle Arena. I don't know what they doing, but I mean, it's gonna get. Hey, if I was that person and somebody offered me $2.6 million, I'm great up that video.
quick, fast, in a hurry. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Ever since the I want to say the OJ situation, everybody's trying to get their hands on some type of pictures or videos or something salacious so I can sell it. That's just the era we live in right now. Remember the Drudge report back during the Clinton situation. All they did was just like they wasn't even really a real journalistic outfit, but they just had some scoops and they made their whole name off of it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely, man. We're gonna jump and switch gears, man. We're going to the NFL, man, and have some NFL talk, man. Hey, so if you guys had to sum up this week in the NFL, what you see so far in a quick sentence, Tate, what would you say this week in the NFL was all about?
Man, I mean, it was Prove It week. You got the Cowboys proved that they for real.
Yeah.
The Giants may have proved that they for real.
Yeah.
Buffalo proved that they the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got a lot of teams that proved themselves. The Philadelphia had a tough game against the Cardinals.
Yeah,
they won by a field goal. So to me, a lot of teams proved that they were who we might have thought they were.
Yeah, love it. Pay one sentence, man. Summing up this week's NFL. What would you call it? What would be your headline across the newspaper?
Buffalo's the best team in the league.
Wow. The Buffalo Bills is number one. Okay. And
I don't disagree with that statement.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with it. All right, so we're going to run down the games. Some of them we're going to talk about real quick because they don't need any conversation. But we're going to start back from the Thursday night game with Russie and the Baltimore Colts. And the win by the Colts 12-9. Pay, talk to me about that game. What do you think about the whole scenario, what's going on in Denver?
Yeah, so it's getting more and more obvious that Seattle was holding Russell up other than the other way around. He looks about done. He's got more weapons in Denver than he had the last handful of years in Seattle, and they look as mediocre as he does, basically because he can't get the ball to him. That at some point their defense won't be able to save him for too much longer, but maybe Russell figures it out.
Yeah, so the headline changes from "Let Russ cook" to "Russ is cooked." He's cooked up. He's cooked up all the way. Well done. Let's move on from Russ.
Y'all can believe that if you want to. And that's why I made the trade for him in our fantasy football league. I want you to talk to me about this again, like the second, like right before Thanksgiving. Let's have this conversation again
about Russell Wilson. Okay.
About Russell Wilson
when they're on a 4-game losing streak.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the Giants-Packers, which was an upset, and the Giants went across the pond and looked sort of for real, man. Talk to me about them New York Football Giants, man.
Well, I just told you they proved themselves. I mean, Daniel Jones didn't throw a touchdown. He ran for, I don't remember, was it like 60 yards and threw for like 230, something like that. Yeah. But he wasn't the reason why they scored, but I don't think he turned the ball over. But to me, this all comes down to Green Bay, though, man. Green Bay always do this to us. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers lost to Jimmy Garoppolo in a 10-7 game he had home in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The NFC Divisional Playoffs. But yeah, I mean, so this is what Green Bay always does. They never can get over the hump. I mean, I think they have a good coach. I think LaFleur is a good coach. I just think myself personally, I think the demeanor of Aaron Rodgers and how he carries himself and all that, it rubs off on the rest of the team. They you know, he like chill, relax, it'll be okay. No, we don't want to relax. We want you to be hyped and show us you want to win and show some passion and stuff. And he's never been that guy. He's just a technician at what he does. He about does it better than anybody, but that ain't always gonna get you wins. Sometimes you got to show that fight, that grit, and that spirit to add to being a technician. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't do that. So I think it's more a problem with Green Bay. But the Giants did come in and win the game. So they're 4-1 now. Playing good, looking good.
Yeah. Hey, Pay, so how much does Rodgers miss Devontae Adams, man? How much does he miss him?
Based on their chemistry that they had over the last few years, you gotta believe he misses them a lot. These first 5 games the Packers have played, they're not connecting all the way yet. He's getting some rapport with the new boy Dobbs, and Lazard has been there for a while. He, as you saw in this game today, Cobb looked like he was his favorite guy, which is his homie. But they don't have nobody that's a special talent in that receiver room just right now. And I don't want to say that's their whole problem, but it is a part of their problem.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. And the next game I'm going to, man, is the one that hurts the stings the most, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Buffalo Bills and a mollywhopping, man. Right? I got some few choice things I want to say, but I'm going to toss it up to Tate, man, real quick, because he's a resident Steeler fan, and I got to get his take, because I know he's got some things he wants to get off his chest as well.
Man, we did the BTSC Steeler podcast Friday night, right?
Yeah.
And you picked the Steelers. At that time, the things you were saying, I was like, man, Big G, you about making me a believer. And then they come out and tackle the kickoff at the 1 yard line and stuff them on first and second down. Then them boys give up a 98-yard bomb.
Yep.
Then they fumble the next kickoff.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally the kickoff after that 98-yard bomb, and it was just the whole day. The whole game was just downhill, like from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we terrible in the red zone. You said something in our back channel about Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool being overrated. I tend to agree. Deontay dropped a couple of balls again today. I mean, he makes great catches, then he dropped the easy ones. I don't understand it. Chase Claypool hands of stone. I mean, they need to go ahead. He's a big physical guy. Try and create a role for him like they do Deebo Samuels for the 49ers. Hand him off the ball, pitch him out the ball, get him on little short wide receiver screens and let him just run. Don't throw him the ball downfield. That's not his strong suit. But on the same token, the defense had a lot of injuries. Levi Wallace went out, starting corner went out. There's already down Kello Witherspoon, the starting corner. A couple other defenders went out. But that no excuses. Mike Tomlin, the standard is standard. So the Steelers are supposed to step up and do what they can do. But they playing the best team in the league, probably arguably the best quarterback, top 1 or 2, no matter who you think is number 1. And I thought Kenny Pickett looked good. I think something's wrong with Najee Harris, man. I mean, I think that foot is bothering him. He's hurt or something because Jaylen Warren came in, was running hard, had a couple of good runs. I mean, Pat Freiermuth went out with a concussion. It was just ugly all day. I watched the Coach Tomlin press conference, and he said the same thing we said. He said we got smashed. That wasn't the terminology he used. Smashed. But that's what happened.
Yeah. Hey, talk to me, man. Talk to me about what happened and what you saw from the Steelers.
I let you talk me into not taking that spread. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at myself. But I agree. I think Najee. I wanted to say this last week, but Najee, he looks plotting. He doesn't look like he has any burst. He doesn't look like he has any shiftiness to him at all. Maybe he's hurt. I'm not sure. But when they did bring the other guy in, Warren, he was putting hat on people, and he was zipping out, and it was very noticeable. As I said, this move to Kenny Pickett was, inevitable. They should have did it when they had that 10 days to prepare for the Jets, and he'd have been more prepared, more mentally prepared, more emotionally prepared with the first strings, and to go into this game. Now you send him to the Wolves in this first game, and I didn't expect him to win this game, but it was he didn't play too bad. The offense wasn't terrible, but what about this offense looked any different than when Mitch was out there?
Nothing.
No, the fact that they got first downs. Yeah. They moved the ball between the 20s. Kenny Pickett threw for 330 yards. Mitch would never do that.
Correct. Correct.
A lot of that came after they backed off of him too, though. Let's give them that too.
He had 205 yards in the second half when they was running cover 2 and shell high, throwing everything underneath. But he was pushing the ball down the field versus Mitch.
He's definitely more confident in his tools. I give him that much.
Yeah, this is the issue, man. This is the issue. The issue is that I saw a team that when they went down 14-3, they quit. And when they went 21-3, they didn't even want to come out of the locker room. When they went down 21-3 and went into halftime, they quit. I also saw some guys on that team that the coaching staff has to make decisions on whether or not they're going to play. I heard Mike Tomlin say loud and clear there's going to be some changes. But Coach Tomlin, where your changes got to start is with your offensive coordinator, number one, and then number two, looking real hard and strong at your defensive coordinator.
So what you can't just change coordinators after game 5. I mean, but what
never done that.
What was wrong with the play calling today? What's wrong with the play offensively?
The issue is, it's a twofold thing. If I'm a play caller, right? So for example, Deontay Johnson had 13 targets today. He caught 5 balls. He had 4 drops. After he has the second drop, bro, you're not getting the ball anymore. I'm sorry. You're not getting the ball. You're a professional athlete. You are paid to catch the ball. If it hits you clean in your hands and you drop it, it's over. The play calling shifts. But they have 2 problems because they not only have one guy that does it, they got 2 guys that do it. Chase Claypool can't catch the ball. He can't catch a cold. He drops a lot of balls. But Deontay drops some of the worst ones. So now you're basically forcing a rookie quarterback to throw the ball to Freiermuth and throw the ball to George Pickens. Well, a defense that's smart is going to realize they're going to move away and start rolling the covers to those guys. And i.e., that's exactly what happened. So as an offensive coordinator, okay, what do we got to do to adjust? We got to start calling different plays. But and you also had serviceable guys behind them that came in and didn't drop any balls. Miles Boykin didn't drop any balls. Sims didn't drop any balls. So I heard Tomlin loud and clear when he said there's going to be some changes, but the changes, I don't know what to do. But my biggest issue is, and this is where I've been saying this all along, I was cheering wholeheartedly for Mike Tomlin. I just hope he survives, man, because 1-7 is looking that man in the face. And it's Mr. Rooney, who's the owner. Mr. Rooney, he's the guy that started the Rooney Rule. I think he would never just dog him out. But the more that they lose, the harder chance.
Big G. You sound like some of the others with those echoes in Steeler Nation. Man, let me ask you this. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season, right? So if he has his first losing season after losing the Hall of Fame quarterback and starting a rookie, then you fire him?
I don't fire him. But
okay, if Mike Tomlin gets fired today, he have a job tomorrow.
Correct. I agree. But I will say this: if they move on from Mike Tomlin, there's a guy in Kansas City called Eric Bieniemy that would fit the rule.
I read something. Eric Bieniemy over Mike Tomlin. That's laughable. Come on, man. I read
telling
something
you.
the other day that said Eric Bieniemy don't even really call the plays. Andy Reid called the plays.
Okay.
And going into next year, that stain, that potential stain could affect Eric Bieniemy getting the job next offseason because it's been said he don't even call the plays. Andy Reid called the plays.
They've been saying that for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I hear it. But I'm telling you, the chants are loud. I wouldn't do it. My point is also, and this is the last point I'm gonna make about the Steelers. Pittsburgh has not had a top 5 pick in God knows how long. And I think that there's some we have $36 million going into the next season, but we only have 38 players under contract. So that money is going to evaporate because we got to sign guys. So the issue is traditionally Pittsburgh has always built their team through the draft. We've missed on some players. Let's be perfectly clear. We missed on Devin Bush. We missed on Claypool. We've missed. These guys are
Devin Bush is trying to recover from injury. He had a great rookie year and was playing good up until he got hurt. Now, he got hurt in his second year. In his third year last year, he didn't play well. He's playing better this year than he did last year. Claypool was I think the 48th pick of the second round. He's not a first round pick. He scored 11 touchdowns his rookie season. I mean, so you got value out of Claypool.
I hear you, but to win, you got to build franchise pieces. So I like the fact that if we fall and we get a top 5 pick, because that means we get a top 5 pick every round. If we're going to build our team traditionally through the draft, but I think it's time also to look at Pittsburgh and say, hey, look, do we start paying free agents and getting guys in here? I know it's not our way, but things are changing. The ground is shifting up underneath us in the NFL. So if you want to win and you want to stay relevant, this is what you got to do.
So are you one of the fans overreacting? I mean, I think Pittsburgh has a good defense. TJ Watt's hurt, but the boy Leal been playing real well. Minkah Fitzpatrick is all pro. I mean, Cam Hayward's a little long in the tooth, but you got Miles Jack. Miles Jack been playing well. You know what I mean? I like Ahkello Witherspoon. I do think if they get a top pick, they need to draft a shutdown corner.
Okay,
that's the direction I'm going. But everybody on offense is less than 5 years and under 26 years old. Young offense, lots of talent.
I hear you.
I think you're just overreacting. I mean, I think they could be in for a down year, but I don't think it's time to throw in the white flag and say, "Oh, it's the end."
It don't take that long to build a team up in this league. You take your down year because it's definitely coming, and be back.
I don't either, but I just think that 1-7 is a whole different talk than 1-4. And oh God, 3 wins in Pittsburgh, that's the end of the earth. So because I know our fan base, and like I said, there's a lot of them that talk that mess. Thank goodness we got a great owner in Mr. Rooney. Thank goodness that just won't give us a knee-jerk reaction and actually look at Mike Tomlin from I've done all this all over all these years, so I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. But anything can happen in the NFL, and I wouldn't be shocked with a 3-13 record, 3-14 record. There's a lot of chatter about some changes going on in Pittsburgh. That's all I'm saying.
By the fans, not by nobody that matter. You think Chuck Noll never had a losing season? You think Bill Cowher never had a losing season? And in 53 years, we've had 3 coaches: Noll, Cowher, Tomlin. It's not gonna happen. Now, could they bring in a high-profile offensive coordinator? Not Eric Bieniemy, but a truly high-profile offensive coordinator? I could see that.
Yeah, and maybe a DC too. But that's another show, man.
If the DC don't work, then go ahead and get rid of Terrell Austin and promote Brian Flores.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a move that's coming. I think Brian Flores is coming. All right, we're going to move on to the Chargers and the Browns game, man. Pay, talk to me a little bit about the Chargers and the Browns. Talk to me.
The Browns blew that, man. They had a great chance to, get their 3rd win of the season, and Nick Chubb was doing his thing. Usually, Jacoby Brissett was looking great in the first half, but then the Chargers remember who they were. That's really how much all that went. I will say this, Myles Garrett, it was expected he wasn't going to be himself for a while because of that coming back from that car accident. He definitely showed it today. He definitely looked like a shell of himself. So just keep an eye on that one.
Yeah. Hey, they almost had 300 yards rushing in this game for two teams. That's crazy too, man. Yeah. Both teams put composite, almost rushed for 3. But Tate, what'd you think about the Browns game, man?
I thought the Chargers coach Brandon Staley is ridiculously following whatever the analytics are. When he went for that 4th down with a little over a minute left at midfield and didn't get it and gave the Browns the ball with no timeouts, he should have punted that ball. He tried to get the Browns, like Pay said, they 3rd win. Nick Chubb is the best running back in football.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, he's the best running back in football. Jacoby Brissett played well enough to win. They went back and forth. It really just came down to who had the ball last, and the Browns had their opportunity with the ball last, and Cade York missed a 54-yard field goal.
Yeah, for sure. Great game.
It's a tough field goal, but you got to make that.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the better games of the day, for sure. All right, Pay, here we go with the hard one, man. Home squad. Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings, man. Talk to me about this game.
I cannot wait to watch that game again on the All 22. It's about time. It's about time. We starting to progress in the right way. We let Jefferson catch all 9 of his targets in the first quarter, or in the first half rather. And he had, 130 yards. It was looking bleak for a while. It was looking bleak going into halftime. But we showed some major grit. Showed some major grit to get that lead, even have a lead in the 4th quarter until we dribbled down our leg, literally and figuratively at the end of the game. But hey, I'm happy they're going in the right direction. We wasn't supposed to be in the game versus Minnesota at all. They had us at a touchdown underdog. So I'm happy for positive progression
for the Bears. Tate, what you talking about with Chicago, man?
Hey, man, when first looked at that game, I was watching the Steelers. This is when the Steelers was in that first quarter when it was 10-3. It was still a game. So I was still mostly looking at the Steelers. And before the Steelers started getting blown out, I started to send a message in our chat saying, man, Chicago is the worst team in football. But then over the course of the day, Chicago came back and they played well. Yeah. Kirk Cousins started out on fire, 14 for 14, maybe even more than that. It's last I saw what it was. But Chicago played well. They got a semblance of some offense going today. I think the defense let them down today. I think the offense played better. Darnell Mooney had a hell of a catch. Shout out to the homie whose parents from the crib. He had a hell of a catch today. Chicago's trending in the right direction.
Yeah. I think for sure that Chicago played a great game. Really think about it. They had a 54-yard Justin Fields touchdown run called back. We might be having a different conversation if that run doesn't get called back. And it was a shady call, really lightweight on the wide receiver. He made himself look guilty by holding his hands up. But if he just would have went through it, I don't know if they'd have called that. But Justin Fields took off.
Whether you hold your hands up or do that or not, man, you're gonna get called for it if you did it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man, I'm going to take the lead on this game, this next one, man, the Lions and the Pats. Man, if I have ever been wrong about picking a team and saying that they was going to do A, B, C, and D, this takes the cake. The New England Patriots beat the brake shoes off of the Detroit Lions. They probably beat the Lions worse than the Steelers got mollywopped by the Bills. It was ugly. Their offense couldn't get started to save their life. The Patriots defense pounded them. And I was what happened to the highest scoring team in the league?
Yeah, the Lions have the highest scoring offense in the league.
35 points per game coming into this week.
Yeah. And laid an egg.
And New England was playing their 13 quarterback and their first string running back got put out the game early.
Yeah. So are the Lions still the Lions or are they just selling us wolf tickets early?
I think the real thought that comes from this game is Belichick is still Belichick. And their defense has done a lot of good things. They're under the radar. And this should put everybody on notice, like, hey, you gotta check that defense. You gotta give them an honest look. Judon and them boys are not playing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna move to the Saints and the Seahawks. Pretty competitive game. Tate, what you think about the Seahawks and Saints game, man?
Man, I picked up Taysom Hill in both my leagues for tight end, and then I dropped him at the last minute. That's my only thought from that game. Not I'm getting blown out so bad in both leagues, though. Not that it would have helped me, but and I probably can get him because I'm gonna have the last waiver claim if I want him in our league. I'm sure. In the other league, I'm gonna be 2-2-1, so I'm not as bad. But yeah, man, I thought Andy Dalton played well. Chris Olave showed his toughness on that touchdown catch. He got banged up and got took out for a concussion, but that's the only time I ever seen a dude get put out for a concussion and make a touchdown on that play.
Yeah,
because you consider when you get your bell rung, you usually drop the ball, but they went back and reviewed it and called it a catch, so it was a touchdown. I mean, I think it was a high scoring game. It was a good game. Geno played well. He hit DK and Tyler both make them have some value for their fantasy football owners, but it was in New Orleans, so the home team won. I think if it was in Seattle, Seattle would have won. So it was a good game though.
Yeah.
Rod Tidwell was the other guy who caught a touchdown and while getting concussed.
I remember it, Pay. I remember Rod Tidwell. Yep, I remember it. I remember that happening.
Rod Tidwell.
Yep, I remember.
Who is that?
Walk me through it, man.
Jerry Maguire, man.
Oh man, y'all talking about the movie?
Come on, man.
For sure. All right, hey. So, Pay, probably the surprise of the day. The New York Football Jets mollywhopped the Miami Dolphins 40-17. Talk to me about that game, man.
That score was a surprise. I wasn't surprised that the Jets could win that game. Miami, they're not a good rush defense. And as Steeler fans, as you know, they got some running backs over there up there in New York. And they put it to them. They put it to them, They were helped out by a little bit. They were helped out by Bridgewater getting out, leaving the game for concussion.
Big help.
Yeah, he went out like the third play of the game. He went out like
he was out early. However, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater ain't had nothing to do with Brees and Brees have close to 200 yards all purpose, and Michael Carter having 2 touchdowns. And their defense is going crazy on them too at the end of the game. So that's what imploded that score.
Yeah, Brees Hall had 97 rushing, 100 receiving, and a touchdown. He was that close to being the first 100 guy for the NFL season of this year. So yeah, shout out to the Jets. The Jets look pretty good. All right, Tate.
Hey, wait. Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
In that game, did Tyreek Hill go for 150 and 2 tubs?
No quarterback. He's playing with the guy that played wide receiver last year. Come on, man. The guy who was playing the third string quarterback was the wide receiver last year.
That quarterback was also the highest rated quarterback in the preseason. So let's give him his propers.
Yeah, but he played WR last year.
I just know we was having a discussion last time we was all on together about Tyreek Hill getting 150 and 2 tubs.
Sauce Gardner's the one that put Teddy out the game.
Yeah. And Sauce got a pick.
Yeah, respect. But Tate, the guy was never mind. The guy was trash quarterback. Let's get a real quarterback in there. Let's see him play again, and then we'll see. All right. Let's move on to the Falcons and the Bucks, man. Tate, talk to me about the Falcons and the Bucks.
Man. I died a death by 1,000 cuts in that one, man. I played against Tom Brady and Fournette. And Fournette only had 27 yards rushing when I last looked, but he had 10 catches. Tom Brady was dumping that thing off to him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was a lot more of a competitive game than I was anticipating. I mean, what was it, 21-15? Atlanta mucked it up and kept it close, even though,
backdoor cover. They scored 14 points in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, but they still made it close. I was expecting something like the Steelers guy from Buffalo. What the GOAT was going to do to Atlanta. You know what I mean? So for it to be 21-15, it may have been a backdoor cover. I wasn't watching that game, full stop because I was watching on all the other games. But when I look at that ending score and looked at how the game was going when I was watching it, Atlanta keeping Tom Brady and Tampa Bay to 21 points is keeping it close. Their problem is Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
He's terrible in the pass game. Just like we knew about Mitch, we know about Marcus Mariota too.
You know what's crazy about this game is that Tampa Bay actually could have lost it. There was a controversial sack where Atlanta would have got the ball back with like 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And they called roughing the passer against Tom Brady. And if you guys get an opportunity to go back and watch it, I've never seen a guy get – for as many hits as Kenny Pickett took today from that Buffalo Bills defense, this roughing the passer that they called on Tom Brady, I've never seen a guy get a call like this before. He didn't even really hardly hit any. But it changed the whole game because they would have had to punt, and Atlanta would have got it back and could have possibly won. So they didn't cover and all whatever else, but TB12 gets the victory, man. Let's talk about the Washington Commanders and the Tennessee Titans. Pay, talk to me a little bit about that game.
Oh my God, what can I say about that game? Well, Wentz wasn't that terrible again, so he was able to keep it close. But in predictable fashion, Derrick Henry, was able to control the clock mostly for the Tennessee Titans. He had 2 touchdowns and like 115 yards, I think. Yeah, because Washington's defense is pretty bad. Good news for them. They, Wentz was able to finally find out where McLaurin was. He hasn't found him at all beforehand. So, trend for them.
Yeah, rookie wide receiver had 2 touchdowns, and it wasn't Dotson. It was a different guy too. So that's a big, But the Commanders are definitely trending in the wrong direction. Tay, you got anything you want to add on the Commanders game?
Nah, man. The Commanders is right down there with teams like the Steelers, and there's one of the worst teams in the league, man.
Right, for sure.
And Tennessee is turning around. That's the 3rd straight win.
Yeah, with a horrible quarterback named Ryan Tannehill, and could make the playoffs, especially because the game we're going to talk about, the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans, man. Tate, man, talk to me about that egg that was laid by the Jaguars today.
Jacksonville's offense is stagnant, man. When your defense holds somebody at 13 points, you're supposed to win. Trevor Lawrence is still making mistakes. He threw a pick in the end zone where, at the very least, they would have came out there making it 9-6 they way. But, he kind of rolled out the pocket, rolled right, and forced the ball and threw an interception. And obviously, the game ended 13-6. It was 6-6 at that point. They never scored again after that. But so I'm wondering now. We had Jacksonville being the upstart a few weeks ago. Now I'm wondering back, is they regular old Jacksonville?
Yeah, that was what I meant by the segue, man. There ain't no ifs and ands about it. They showed who they really are, man, for sure. Hey, we switching to the 49ers-Panthers game, man. Talk to me about the San Francisco 49ers.
Baker Mayfield is still the worst quarterback in the league. I don't care who else you're talking about.
Wow.
He is as of right now the starting quarterback in the league. Out of all the starters, he's the worst. Now, for a team, they're the only team in the NFL whose offensive line has been together every game this season. Yeah. And for that type of continuity, you would think they'd be better. They hardly ever get to the second level on the run. Baker is hardly ever looking for Christian McCaffrey when he leaks out. He's panicky. He throws the ball into the dirt. He's overthrowing people and is getting picked off. He's unmitigated garbage. And he's wasting a good defense over there. Matt Rule is probably going. He's signed a 10-year contract. Probably be fired this year. Second year into the deal. That's how bad they
look. Wow.
But
Talk to me, man. Go ahead, Pay. Go ahead, finish up, man.
But no, I didn't want to disrespect San Francisco. San Francisco, they're toughest team in the league. They flew all the way from California to come grab some scalp over there in Carolina. That's not hard. I mean, it's not easy.
Straight mopping. Talk to me, man. What do you think, man?
Man, I think this is Matt Rule's third year, but like he still said, 10-year deal. He's still going to be on his way out potentially. And I mean, he never really got his guy. They traded for Sam Darnold. They thought that might be. They do have a great young defense. Baker is terrible though. I mean, the Browns didn't have to pay $230 million to get Deshaun Watson. They could have just signed Jacoby Brissett and would have been getting somebody better than Baker Mayfield. And they've been competitive with Jacoby. You know what I mean? Because two of the games they lost, well, all three games they lost, they could have won. The Browns we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Baker went to Carolina and shows that he wasn't that guy in Cleveland. He's not that guy there. And I think sometime next year, I mean, he's up for a contract. He's not going to get paid. He's gonna get paid backup money. He's going to be a backup. That's going to be his career now. A number one overall pick backup.
Hey man, I'm gonna talk about some of these comments we've had, man. We've had 24 comments going on in the chat line right now, man. I'm trying to pull them up, but my computer keeps freezing up. But anybody who's out there in the chat line, I'm gonna just give me a few seconds and I'm gonna get to it. I just gotta finish up with the games. Hey, so listen, Payday, last couple of games. Talk to me about the Cowboys and the Rams.
Oh my goodness. I know how you all had to see that coming, right? The Rams are a paper tiger. They come off that Super Bowl, and they're not used to being the hunted now. They're used to hunting, and everybody's gumming for them, and they ain't ready for it. Stafford, he turned back into that pumpkin. No longer a carriage. No longer a carriage. He's that they can't protect him. He's throwing picks. Jalen Ramsey is a lot of bark, not so much bite. Dallas had their number coming in, and it was almost obvious. Legend of Cooper Rush continues to grow. They got a problem in Dallas almost. They got a problem.
Yeah, they do. Talk to me about that Dallas Rams game, man.
Man, well, I picked the Rams in our Pick'em show, but I said even then that, man, the Cowboys is for real because that defense travels, and their strength was the Rams' weakness. You know what I mean? So you got that strong Dallas rush, that defensive line, and like the first or second play of the game, they come out and force a turnover and get a touchdown. DeMarcus Lawrence scored a touchdown, and they never looked back from there. I mean, Matt Stafford was uncomfortable. He was getting popped a whole bunch of different times. I mean, they really couldn't run the ball. I mean, I agree with Pay. The Rams are a paper champion. And, so all those high-profile players they have, Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, they paying all that money to, and they pick up the boy from Chicago. What's his name? The receiver?
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson. But they don't have depth within their roster. They can't field the whole team. So when all the linemen get hurt, they really struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they second string players is probably the equivalent of other teams' third string players.
Yeah. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it, I think. But I will say this about the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys might have the best defense in the whole NFL. So, and I think that right now, and piggybacking off of your comment, they have a problem because
49ers. I want to see Dallas and the 49ers play. That'd be a banger.
Yeah. But do you switch quarterbacks now? Like, you got well, we're going to get to the team they're going to play, but you're going into that game 4 straight wins, and now you got Dak back. Do you switch? Do you make the switch now?
That is a tough position to be in because Dak is better than Cooper Rush. I mean, no disrespect to Dak, but he is a better quarterback than Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
and with that, he gives them the better opportunity to win. But what
Yeah.
they got going on with Cooper, whatever system they got going on, whatever scheme they got going, it's working and it's winning. So that's tough. They're not getting pressure. He's getting the ball out. He's getting the ball out quick. He's getting the ball out to the right people. You know, Dak he's always had a propensity to try to, you know, be a try to win the game on every play type guy. So it is a tough situation right now. But as long as it's winning.
Last game before we close out the NFL, segue to college and cover that real quick. Tate, talk to me. The Arizona Cardinals, your AZ versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Talk to me about that game.
They wasn't my AZ this week. I didn't pick them.
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have.
No, I didn't. I'm saying I had picked them every other week before this week because, like I said, I mean, my constants was Philly. Well, I mean, Arizona and Jalen Hurts, and I went with Jalen Hurts this week. I mean, but it was a good game. Arizona showed me more this week in a loss than they have in a couple games they won and the other games they lost. I mean, they seemed buttoned up and together today. You know what I mean?
For sure. Hey, Claude, I do agree that is overrated, man. But like Pace said, Dak is better than Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is hot. He's playing good, but they paying Dak $45-50 million a year. You don't see him on the bench. You guys look at film together and look what Cooper been doing and say, Dak, we need more of this from you. Just play within the offense. Stop trying to be the guy and win have all the big plays and the big numbers. Just do what needs to be done to win the game. That's what Cooper Rush has been doing. I mean, Dallas hasn't scored much over 23 points in any of their wins. So they ain't like Cooper Rush lighting it up. He's valuing the ball. Yeah. He's making the right decisions and letting that defense go out there and really win the game for him. Claude said that the Philadelphia Eagles is the best team in the league. What y'all think, man?
I mean, you can't disagree with it.
They're the best team in the NFC.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I forgot about the Bills that fast. The Bills.
All right. So we got the game. We got the couple of a game tonight and a game Monday night. We'll review that on our show on Wednesday, but we're going to switch it up real quick and go to college football. We had a new AP drop today. We got a new number one team. Anybody know? You guys know because y'all know it all like I am. The Georgia Bulldogs is now the number one team in the Associated Press. Tate and Pay, talk to me about that. What do y'all think about Georgia now jumping to the number one team in AP?
Well, see, that's been the trend so far. We started the season off with Bama as number one. They had a
tough game against Texas.
A tough game against Texas. Then Georgia jumped them. Georgia had a tough game against
Missouri.
Then Bama jumped them, and then Bama just had another tough game this past weekend, and now Georgia jumps them back. So that's just what it is right now. The voters are pretty much saying it's one of these two teams, and whoever looks good coming out of Saturday, they get to be number one.
Right. So how come that doesn't work for Ohio State though? They haven't put Ohio State one yet. Is that some bias going on right there? I mean, what's the deal?
Maybe a little bias. Maybe a little the voters feel like those two teams that are head and shoulders above, Ohio State and Big Ten.
Oh, that sounds like a lot like some SEC bias to me. Tate, talk to me about it. What you think, man?
Man, Alabama is good. Alabama struggled against Texas, but Texas is a good team. Texas smashed Oklahoma yesterday. Smashed them. Texas is probably a top 25 team. They lost that game to Alabama, of course. Then they got beat by Texas Tech, right? I mean, they kind of snuck up on them. So Texas is better than we think they are. And Georgia is not as good as we think they are. I mean, and I'm not saying that they got a lot of good players, a lot of five-star players, but Georgia can't pass the ball. You make Georgia have to pass the ball. They got 6 rushing touchdowns yesterday. You make what's his name? Spencer Bennett or whatever his name is, the quarterback.
That's his name.
Bennett's his last name. But you make that guy pass the ball and beat you in the passing game. You put 7 or 8 in the box, however many you need. Play the receivers one-on-one and make him pass the ball to beat you. He's not C.J. Stroud. He's not Bryce Young. He's not even J.J. McCarthy for Michigan.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I mean, I got Georgia losing. Missouri had him. Missouri blew it.
Yeah.
But they had him. Now, I'm interested in seeing this game come up this week. This Tennessee-Alabama game gonna be a good one because that Hendon Hooker, the quarterback for Tennessee, is nice.
Yeah.
Bama wins that game. Doesn't matter how they do it because style points don't for a game like that doesn't matter. They win that game, they're going back to number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. If they beat number 6
ranked team. Yeah, Tennessee's the number 6 ranked team. For our know-it-all fans out there, I'm going to read off the top 10 real quick. You got Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Alabama 3, Clemson 4, Michigan 5, Tennessee 6, USC Trojans 7, Oklahoma State 8, Ole Miss 9, and Penn State Nittany Lions 10. So that is your top 10.
Clemson jumped Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And Penn State jumped into the top 10. But the 2 biggest moves was the UCLA Bruins jumped all the way to number 11.
Didn't I message y'all yesterday and say you put UCLA in the top 10?
Yeah, and TCU jumped all the way up to 13. So that was some huge moves. And the Texas Longhorns are officially now back in the top 25, ranked number 22 in the country.
As they should be. I was just saying that they better than what we thought they were.
Yeah, Claude Bishop said we are Penn State. So I hear you, Claude. I hear you talking. So go ahead, Pay.
When Penn State loses their perennial, big game of the season,
they play Michigan this week coming up, right?
Yeah. So
correct.
Yeah,
they'll either lose that one or the game against Ohio State. So we all know that's going to happen. So UCLA will probably be in the top 10 in 2 weeks.
Could be.
That UCLA USC game is looking like could be a potential top 10 matchup. But whenever they play, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Well, UCLA is 11, but Oregon is 12, and UCLA and Oregon both have a bye this week and play each other the following week. So the 11 and 12 place which could be a top 10 game. The following week will play each other.
In spicy.
I would take Oregon in that though. I mean, I would take UCLA in that. I like Chip Kelly going up against his old school, and I like the Oregon quarterback better than Bo Nix. I mean, I like UCLA quarterback better than Bo Nix.
Oh, okay. Pay, you got somebody giving you a shout out about a comment over there, man. You see that, man?
That's because Claude's a Penn State fan, and Pay said when they traditionally use their first big game.
I hear you, man. Hey, so last question about this college football rankings. Do you guys have any team ranked out of the top 10 right now? Because normally this is where you see a team make a push. Is there a team you thinking that's not ranked inside of the top 10 right now that can make a push to actually get an opportunity to play into the playoff? Is there anybody outside of the top 10 that's got a shot?
To get into the playoff?
Either one of you guys, to get to the playoff, or when they start having the polling and the voting, that they get an opportunity to get to play for the playoff. And either one of you guys can start. It doesn't matter.
I got 2. NC State and TCU. I think those are the only 2 outside of the top 10 who's got a legit pathway to get there.
NC State is currently ranked 15th. Next 3 games at Syracuse, who is now ranked, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest, who's ranked number 14. So they could get some points. And you said TCU, who has Oklahoma State next week, Kansas State the week after that, and West Virginia. So they could get some points and push themselves up. Tate, is there anybody you see that's outside of the top 10 that's got an opportunity to possibly make it?
I think, and this one going to be a big surprise, man. Because I think they just cracked the top 25, and they barely in the top 25. Who's the number 24 ranked team?
Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois. Yeah. Illinois is 4-1, one loss in the Big Ten. And how they schedule look, they can run the table with their schedule.
Yeah.
They beat Iowa last night. They played Michigan State. They already played Wisconsin. They played Purdue, but that'll be a tough one. But if they can get in that western side of the Big Ten championship and then upset somebody like Ohio State or Michigan, whoever their opponent is, and they only had that one loss, they got a case.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell. I got a different team too. I got a little different spin, and I hate to say it because y'all know how much I hate the SEC. But I think the Mississippi State Bulldogs can make a run, man. They're currently ranked number 16, and everything's in front of them. They play Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, all at the crib. So if they win, and they have a serviceable quarterback. I think he's the fourth best quarterback as far as passer rating and touchdowns in the country. So I think Mississippi State is in front of them. But if they get hot at the right, and they're catching teams at the right time, they play Bama the week after they play Tennessee. So it's something could go on.
I mean, they could. You're right, they could. But what could and is probable to happen is they're gonna lose 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're a good team, but I mean, and Mike Leach, their coach, is an offensive genius.
Yeah, for sure.
Illinois. I'm gonna jump back on that Illinois comment. They only have Michigan on their schedule.
Yeah,
and that's the Michigan and then Northwestern in the season. If they can catch Michigan, with their pants down and beat them,
if they beat Michigan and Ohio State beat Michigan and Illinois play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship and they win that, they got every case to say we belong in the top 4.
Oh, for sure.
Because they would have beat number 4 and probably number 2 or number 1 in like a 3-week period.
Right.
If that happens.
Right, for sure. And I'm saying all that because the spiciness is starting to go on. The NFL season, we're not hitting a lull, but you're starting to separate. But the spiciness of college football, we're here, ladies and gentlemen. College football is about to be that thing over the next 3 weeks. So you're going to see a lot of talk about college football on the podcast.
Hey,
one last question about college football. If you had to vote a Heisman Trophy winner today, who's your Heisman Trophy winner? Pay, I'll start with you.
Oh, that's tough.
It ain't tough.
Because I don't want to say C.J. Stroud. But I mean, with Bryce getting hurt, man, it looked like it's C.J. right now.
Okay.
I got one person in the dark though. My Luke May's brother over there in North Carolina. Just give him one vote.
Okay.
They C.J. Stroud just yesterday had his Big Ten record setting 8th 5 touchdown game in Big Ten history. This is like his 20th 21st game. 8 5 touchdown games, set the record. Oh, let's throw one more. 3 6 touchdown games is the most in Big Ten history. I mean, CJ, he was he like 24 for 27 or something like that? Like the ball hardly hits the turf, man. I mean, he did throw a bad pick 6 yesterday, but he threw 6 touchdown passes. He threw for like 350, 360, and he came out the fourth quarter. I mean, dude is leading the nation in touchdown passes, plays for a number 2 ranked team. I mean, dude is a beast. Big G. We had this discussion all last year. Everybody, Big G was saying, he's admitted it. CJ Stroud's garbage. He needs to run the ball. I said, Big G, this was last year after like 2 or 3 games. CJ Stroud is the best pure passer in Ohio State history.
Without a
pure
doubt.
passer. Without a doubt. The guys doing the game yesterday, Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler, they made some comparisons, some throws to some Patrick Mahomes throws.
Yeah, they did. They did do that.
Yeah.
They did do that. So this is everybody knows I'm a diehard Buckeye fan. I live and die with the Buckeyes for sure. But I'm going to put out a dark horse guy, not essentially a dark horse, but a guy that I think he could win the Heisman Trophy maybe this week coming up. Hooker, the quarterback at Tennessee.
He could.
If they pop Bama, and he plays really, really good, I'm talking about 250 to 300 yards passing, 75 to 100 yards rushing, and Tennessee gets that victory, Hooker could walk in and walk away with that Heisman Trophy, man.
Tennessee is nice, man, and Hooker, Tennessee had Pitt's running back, whatever, I can't even say his name. Dude, he was just killing. Who they play yesterday? He had 320 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, he broke Tony Dorsett's record yesterday. He actually
he'd have to have one more game like that, Claude, to get in the Heisman Trophy discussion. Yeah. But Hooker is nice, and I think Tennessee is the highest ranked offense in the nation over Ohio State. I think Ohio State's number 2.
Right. Tennessee is extremely efficient, right? And so, but Alabama's got a great defense. So that's why I'm saying that if Hooker has one of those magical nights down there at Rocky Top,
if you can give him a little bit of time, Alabama's cornerbacks can be had.
Yeah. Oh, well, Texas A&M was killing Alabama's cornerbacks yesterday. The quarterback for Texas A&M is just trash. If he was halfway decent, they would have popped Bama. He missed He missed the game. He missed the game winner. The tight end was wide open across the middle of the field, and he went to the corner. Like, come on, bro.
But no, I have a whole problem with the play call. I mean, like they in shotgun, they in spread formation, and with 3 seconds left on the 2-yard line. To me, you come in tight. You might even go multiple tight ends and have the threat of the run and make them have to play that. When you go in spread, you pretty much know they passing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would have ran a tight set, but I don't think it might have been a better throw. It might have been a better place to go with the ball, but that throw to the corner was there to be had too if he throws it low to the pylon and let the receiver go down and get it. He threw a floater ball up high. Like that was a terrible throw on that last play.
Yeah, for sure. Pat, you got any last comments about college football, man, so far?
Yeah, I'm just really, really, really can't wait for that Alabama-Tennessee game. It's going to determine a lot. And like you say, I omitted Hooker, but yeah, you're definitely correct. He can do a lot to put his name in not just Heisman conversations, but first quarterback being drafted conversations.
Man, we got a comment. This comment right here, wow, it's almost might be a blockbuster. Check it out, fellas. Y'all see it?
Man, I didn't get to read it. Pull it back up.
See it? Can you see it? Oh, I didn't. I thought you saw it. My bad. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you see it.
Doesn't deserve the Heisman. OSU don't play no one except Michigan every year.
Yeah, because the Big Ten is kind of soft.
Yeah.
Well, they play Penn State. They already beat Notre Dame. Was ranked number 5 at the beginning of the season,
and now they're not ranked. So
but because Ohio State beat them, but Notre Dame just beat a ranked team yesterday.
Yeah. Sure
did they get back into the AP?
No, they're not. Guess who's number 25? Who's holding Notre Dame out? James Madison is ranked number 25 in the Associated Press poll at 5-0.
So the voters, the smart people that they are, thinks James Madison, one of the presidents, is better than Notre Dame, better than touchdown Jesus.
That's who's holding Notre Dame out of the top 25 right now. But Notre Dame can shake it up because they got Clemson in a couple of weeks. So you can see some stuff going down, man. Yeah, they could get smacked.
So Ohio State has played Notre Dame. They will play Michigan. They play Penn State, and they whooped Michigan. Michigan State came into the year first 2 weeks ranked number 11. They just fell off bad.
So they played two teams that were overrated.
Yeah, Notre Dame and Michigan State for sure. Notre Dame and Michigan State for sure.
I don't know that Notre Dame is overrated though. Who else did Notre Dame lose to?
Marshall.
Oh yeah, that was a bad loss.
Yeah, they lost to Marshall.
No Chad Pennington, no Randy Moss, and they still lost.
Yeah. Hey, so listen. We're gonna move to our closing thoughts or closing comments this week, man, for the KnoItAllz podcast. Hey, I'm gonna kick it to you, man. Give me your closing thoughts or closing comments.
Go Ravens. They're already winning right now. They're gonna go ahead and get back on top of the conference, back on top of the division, the AFC North.
Go Ravens. You got a score for us for tonight, Pay?
They're only up 3-0 right now. I think in the way the game is flowing right now, They can probably win 17-14.
17-14. Okay. Tate, you got closing thoughts for us, man, as we close out the show.
I just want to comment, man. I know y'all. We looked at some. I know me and Pay did it. I think you did too, Big G. Looked at some of them baseball games yesterday too, man. Some really good baseball games yesterday, man. I'm ready to go probably right now, flip between the Mets and the Padres and see how that ends up along with this football game. I mean, but that Cleveland Guardians game yesterday, 0-0 in 15 innings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then SpongeBob hits the walk-off homer to end it in the 15th. Yeah. That was a classic baseball game. I mean, for it to be playoffs and all that stuff.
Series-ending homer.
Series-ending homer in the 15th inning. But I just want to say, man, that if I'm the little homie Jordan Poole, man, I get my homies, man, and we jump Draymond.
Draymond getting jumped after practice, man, for sure. Hey, so my closing thoughts is this, man. I'm not being a braggadocious about it. I just want to say how proud of a moment it is. I've been a Philadelphia Phillies fan, man, since like 1978, 1979, man. I grew up with my family, everybody cheering for the Phillies, man. And we've been on the schneid for a long time, man. And to see us finally break through and win a playoff series and now move on to the divisional round, which we got a chance against the Braves, man. I told the guys in the chat room, I don't know if we can beat the Dodgers, but I think we got a chance against the Braves. So for my Phillies to be able to possibly make it to the National League Conference Championship Series, possibly, we got to win this round, man, it's a huge accomplishment, man. So for all you Philly fans that's been hanging in there forever, man, we did it, y'all. We finally did it, man. We did it, man. I'm so happy as the Phillies.
It ain't no Philly fans watching this. I bet even Claude, who's Steelers and Penn State, is a Pirates fan.
Could be, but man, I'm thrilled to death about the Phillies, man. I was so happy yesterday. I was screaming in the chat line, talking mess, man. The Phillies, man, we won, man. I was just so happy, man. So, but hey, Robert Pujols, you're a great player, man. Way to fight that at the end, man. Way to fight. Way to have a couple of guys fight that thing down to the last pitch in the 9th inning, man. Way to fight.
Albert.
Yeah, great. And way to end their career. So for sure. Well,
him and Molina both ended their careers with base hits trying to get a win. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So say, listen, thank you guys again for watching the KnoItAllz podcast. If you like our information, please like, share, but even more so, subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all the different social media handles that's out there. Please like and subscribe to the KnoItAllz podcast. You can find this information on your boy Tate at Tate Boy Fresh. You can also probably look at it in the Best Damn Sports with Payday rocking that thing weekly on Facebook, and they're going to give us a link that's going to tie you back to the KnoItAllz podcast. So, but we thank you for listening and rocking with us. Man, for your boy Big G, for my boy Pay, for my boy Tate, and for my baby brother Ma. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, man.
arrest Brett Favre.
For what? For stealing money, or you did something else?
No, just being arrest Brett Favre for stealing and being a douche.